Hey Brady, Jared here. So good to see you and talk to you and your family. A couple weeks back in church, and I got your email this morning, and I was working on responding to some student teachers that I have this semester, and they submit weekly reflections via email, and then what I typically do is just record videos and send those back to them. And so I thought, you know what, I'll just send Brady a video as well, a little bit more of a personal touch, and sometimes that's easier than uh, typing up entire paragraphs to respond to your four questions. So some great questions here. Keep them coming. I hope that I'm able to answer all of these. And again, if you have the time to sit down, before or as you're working through the application process, don't be afraid to give me a call either at the office or on my cell. So let me address the cost one first, because that's basically the easiest. $360 is the cost for tuition and fees through this summer, the summer of 2020. So beginning next fall, the tuition actually increases to $375, which is a lot as you're doing the math here. You had it just shy of $11,000. Typically, we see, as I've looked back on the records, $5 to $10 to $15 increase every year. We still intentionally price our programs lower than any competitor, but that's the unfortunate kind of nature of higher education is the cost. What I can say is that there are virtually no other fees that are associated with this. There's no fee to apply to one of our programs, so really you're probably just looking at books, and then any other sorts of you wouldn't have any praxis tests for your program, but any of those other sort of extraneous expenses, anything from fuel to get to and from campus, or technology that you might need to use, or anything like that. But we like to be as transparent as we can, so you're not going to find a whole lot of hidden fees on top of the regular tuition. Your question number one asks about the difference between the master's program and the Ed spec. And I assume, I can't remember, but I assume you have a master's degree. I don't think it was from USF. And so my encouragement to you in your situation would be to go the Ed specialist route. And there are a couple of reasons for that. One is the perception of the degree. It's a higher academic degree than a master's degree. And so you already have a master's degree. It would make sense in your situation if you were going to be applying for building level leadership positions, or even something at the district level, that you would be able to advertise an Ed specialist rather than master's degree times two. There are reasons that people will get a double major potentially, or something like that, and just get two master's degree. Mandy happens to have two master's degrees, and there was a circumstance that made that the best option for her. But not only that perception, also through the EDS program, you will be taking 500 and 600 level courses rather than just 500 level courses at the master's level. And why that's important for our program is that, I think I mentioned this in the email that I sent to you a week or two ago, some of your courses will be with those that are in the master's leadership program, but other classes will be the EDS principal students as well as the superintendent students in the EDS program. So they're more like exclusively EDS courses. And the reason that that's important is if you were ever to pursue a doctoral program, USF is in the preliminary stages of developing one of those. We've actually sent our program to the Higher Learning Commission, and we're hoping to hear back sometime this summer. And then that would begin for us in the summer of 2021. But if you were to say go to a doctoral program here at USF or maybe at the University of South Dakota, the hope is then that all of these courses from the EDS program would transfer into one of those programs. And so I got a master's degree when I was teaching down in Nebraska, got my specialist degree while I was teaching at Lincoln, and then from my specialist, I was just able to transfer all of those into my doctoral program that I'm going to finish up with here in a month or so. And so There are a couple of other reasons as well that an EDS would probably be the fit for you, but if you have specific questions about that, don't be afraid to let me know what those are. Those would just be my reasons to encourage you into the EDS program rather than a second master's program. The two courses you mentioned, 558 and then 531, are summer courses that you were concerned about. I did have the website pulled up. Let me see if I can still get that here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Here it is. Okay. So 531 and 558 are both summer courses, and so they are only going to be offered in the summer. They will be offered every summer. 558 has an online option that's available. I tend to counsel students in our admin programs to do the face-to-face version of this because it's more focused on management issues in K-12 schools, but the online option is available for you. The one that might be more essential is 531 because this is ideally our first course in the summer that you begin the program. And the reason why is there are very few prerequisites in this program, but in order to take 532, which would be offered in the spring, it's just begun a couple of weeks ago, and so it'll run again next year at the same time and the following year. And this is taught by Val Fox, former principal at Lincoln High School, and it has an internship component. But in order to qualify for that course, you have to take 531 prior to 532. Now, if you weren't able to take this course this summer, that's understandable, and we could just move these two pieces to the following summer and then the next spring as well. The other thing that I would note is as you look at this program, the way that it's laid out, this is not the required order of anything. We kind of have a rolling admission for our EDS programs, and so other than the 531, 532 course sequence, virtually all of these can be taken at any time. The only other exception would be 589, which is sort of your culminating year. And this is the one that we want to wait until your final fall and spring of the program, just so that you can get as much content and as much of your other internship experiences prior to that. The other distinguishing feature of our program, I can't remember if I mentioned this to you, is that while some universities have a whole slew of coursework and then one internship experience, we actually weave that internship experience into several courses. And so the first one is 523, and then we have 532, and then we have 589. So there's an internship component to each of those courses that's more targeted to curriculum or school law, staff development, discipline, and then research and school improvement, instead of just having just this one chunk of internship. That's kind of the approach that we take at USF. And then finally you ask 589, is this like a thesis? In a way, yeah, it's not a formal document paper like a thesis or a dissertation would be, but it is your culminating research project. And so that course actually runs in the fall and in the spring of your final year. It's 2 credits each semester. So students will occasionally take another course alongside those. And you begin early in the fall talking through research methodology. You probably had some similar type things in your master's program. And then the idea is as you're working through your internship for that class, you're working on whatever your research project is, and you're doing that research within your school building, you're gathering that data, you're analyzing that data, and then that culminates in a presentation. We have a symposium for all graduate programs, so graduate programs in reading, technology customized learning, and of course our administration programs all have a night in the spring, early April usually, where they present their findings to their peers, and then they also have the opportunity to view other colleagues' presentations too. So that's kind of how that looks, but there's no massive paper involved with that. There's no like defense or any kind of thing like that. There's no real publishing type of situation. for your program. For some of the other master's programs, that is the case, but not for the EDS in principle. So, yeah, I think that answers the questions that you gave to me. I see we're running over 10 minutes, so I apologize. The video's a little longer than I thought it was going to be, but I wanted to try to give you some personal feedback in response to those questions. So, anyways, I look forward to hearing from you and talking to you later about this. Again, no pressure in any way, but if we're able to help you out in meeting your goals, I told you in the email, I think this has maybe been a long time in coming. I see you as a real quality, high-level leader, and I say that honestly, in public schools. So, yeah, if there's a way that we can partner in this, Brady, and make it happen, then I'd love to be a part of it. So keep me posted, and just let me know if there are any further questions that you have. And I pray that you and your family have a great rest of the week as well. So take care.